That's interesting. All right, everyone. I think we're live. I hope we're resuming. Yeah, that's right. It's a sign. Oh, Jesse started this morning off. Jesse started this morning off saying he feels like that today is the day before the end of the world. Could it be a sign? Good morning, everyone. Glad to be here with you. It's Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, getting ready here for our live session, kicking off the week. And what a week it's going to be. Glad to be spending it with y'all. By the way, everyone could take their politics and put it aside. We don't want any of that here at all. We're here to work together, regardless of what your views are. We're here to conquer the markets. That's what we do. That's what we're going to do. And guess what? The world has gone crazy. We don't need that over here. All right. So let's take what's going on. Good to see everyone. Let's just take a well, let's see what's going on this morning, and I'm going to start that off by saying you got the dollar bid. The dollar's up. By the way, you could see over here we got the retest of the 94 level, right? Looking for a resumption off there. Precious metals are also up with gold up, and the equity markets are also up with the dollar up, and Bitcoin and crypto are off. Just some clear observations. You know what? I kind of feel like that. I just want to observe what's going on today. I don't want to have any preconceived notions in my head. And by the way, we're also seeing risk in FX markets, risk on FX markets. You're seeing Japanese yen the weakest, that's risk off. You're seeing New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, both bid. Just observations. Why is that all that happening? I have no idea. I'm not trying to well, that's because this person might be winning or the market's pricing in this or that. Look, I have no idea, and I'm trying to go Dragon Warrior Zen into tomorrow's event. How about that? There are questions of whether or not we're going to be tomorrow. We're going to be live streaming. I'm not going to be live streaming. By the way, Joe Rogan I think is live streaming. That might be a fun one. I'm going to be figuring out what are the best sources to follow. I do believe in 2016 the one that helped me the most was New York Times. I have no idea what it'll be. I kind of do my thing on the internet and figure out what is providing the best real-time results. I'll share that on Twitter, and if anything needs updating, we'll update it. That's right. Leaving like a dragging warrior. Zen. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the markets. Let's just get an idea what's going on. I'm not looking to trade. Now, that doesn't mean between now and tomorrow night that I won't place trades or that I'm not going to be looking at the markets this session with you all. And then I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, that is so clear that I have to take it. My mindset is that I'm not looking to trade. Someone yesterday on Twitter was talking about the S&P is going to 4,500. And I was like, yeah, but that's kind of reckless right before this enormous risk event. We could be heading not just to tomorrow. It could until the new president's sworn in. It could be a tumultuous time for the world. Let's play it out together right now. Boom, 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 boom. I'm on the dollar here. I'm just here to have fun this morning. By the way, do what we do. Have fun with you all. Enjoy being here and just get a nice little overview of the markets. If you're looking to trade today, well. Look, I'm not saying don't trade today, but if you're looking to trade today, then maybe you're doing it wrong. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we're going to start here with the S&P 500. Let me see what's going on. I'm taking off these comments just so I get a clear look of the markets we're following, get into a little bit of flow here, paint the picture for what's going on so that together we can go ahead and get some clarity and figure this out. I'm seeing the S&P 500, right? So far, we got this important support holding over here. We had 2 breakdown attempts over there. What does this all mean to me? Absolutely nothing. I, by the way, have over here, I have higher lows. And then over here, I have lower highs. And then over here, higher lows. That means consolidation, sideways. Obviously, the market wasn't going to break down over here ahead of, and I said that on Friday. I said there's no way I would short the market, but there's no way I would also go long either. How could you? We have no idea what's going to happen, right? So where does that leave us? Well, it leaves me wondering why the markets are bid today. But nevertheless, I have neutral, neutral, neutral. The only thing I'm going to say about what I see going on over here is I see that I have my my lower highs over here and then higher lows. All right? Nothing else. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq, see what's going on over here this morning. And by the way, just to affirm that, I'm not looking at comments right now. I don't want to get thrown off over here. I want to find a flow, make sure we put our work in, and make sure we know what's going on over here. And I'll let you know when I'm bringing them back up. But the same thing over here. I see my lower highs and then my higher lows. Notice that we are hanging by a hope. That's the hope line over there. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no preconceived notions. It's not often, if you've been following this channel all year, that I say that I have no idea what's going on. So that's a big signal to pay attention to, at least for myself, you know, regardless of how you view it. When I'm like, look, I don't know what's going on, that's a strong signal not to be in the markets. I can't imagine being in the markets. That to me, have you ever taken a trade and it's all based on hope? Like, I don't know what anyone would even, is someone shorting the market hoping that like everything falls apart tomorrow? I've said before, and I'll say it again, the biggest risk tomorrow is that it's a non-event. The biggest risk in the market right now, because volatility is priced in, is that it's a non-event. Not that that's a bad thing. I hope it's a non-event. It's not looking like it's going to be a non-event, but I sure hope it is. For that to happen, one of the parties would need to win in a landslide. For the other to concede tomorrow, that one of the parties would have to win in a landslide. This looks interesting over here, though. I'm looking at the Dow, and I'm seeing the Dow, right, come back down, and now testing that resistance. Just follow the mouse over to the left. It's a pretty strong resistance. If that holds and we resume down, that's interesting, but there's nothing going on worth even mentioning. I want to see the Russell today, as the Russell is up almost over 1%, leading the way, and nothing at all. Look, there's nothing going on except leg down consolidation. This could lead to another leg down. If it leads to another leg down, by the way, it could be a big one. Nothing going on. Let's look at our DXY. Again, it's not often that I'm like, look, I don't really see an edge in the markets whatsoever. I mean, appropriately so. Tomorrow is kind of a big deal. I don't think that you should I don't think you should be playing it out. If this happens, then this will be the reaction. I don't think that at all. I do think that tomorrow has the possibility to be some type of event that could lead to a bigger trend in place. So watching to see what the market decides that trend is, and then us getting the sweet spots of that move, that is some profitable high probability trading. That's the way to do it, not looking to gamble and get. I guess people gamble if they don't have an edge in the markets. Over here in the DXY, I'm looking at, most importantly, the 94 horizontal line over here. You could see if I highlight this over here, this is the line that I was tracking, or have been tracking. It's in play right now. I'm just going to do that to show you really quick, right? Oh, not that one. So I'm not working from home today, not working from my office. There you go. That line over there. If I step back and just show you what that is over there, let me go ahead and see that. You can see that's coming from, right, from the highs we made back in May, connecting over here, in September, right? Not, what am I talking about? Let me go to the daily. Bear with me. It's a Monday morning. You know what? Well, you all know I'll find my flow. Here we go. This is connecting the high of March, right? What is that line and why is that even there? That doesn't belong there whatsoever. What is that line and why is that there? That doesn't belong there whatsoever. It's not even connecting anything. That's gone. Wow. Off my game. Why is it green? It's green because we're trading above we're trading above that resistance over here right now, coming in for the retest. I'm looking for it to hold green, right? Resume off of it. If we go trade back below it, then I'll put it down to resistance. I expect that line holds over there. We don't round time. We don't have any time for that nonsense in here this week. Not with the high tensions over here. Look, there will be. I don't ever like moderate the whole chat over here. Everyone here's adults. If we have that type of nonsense going on this week, though, may gold be bid if there's a non-event. Yeah. Anyway, first and only warning, not for you, Ron, but for anyone, right? None of that nonsense in here this week. None. So why could I saw the question because I pulled up the comments over there. Why is gold bid, right? And what happens if it's a non-event? Could gold go? Yeah, listen, there's no question about it. A couple scenarios could really send gold going. A few scenarios. We'll talk about them really quick. Let me pull up gold over here as we do. All right. The first one is that if Biden wins and then we have a blue sweep, a blue wave, if that wins, I think gold will probably go ballistic, right? So, by the way, I just want to show you over here. I would not take this trade, but it doesn't mean that you wouldn't. I have my trend line over here, right? You could see price came right into that resistance, and then it was rejected. This is right over here, the trade that has no name, and then came into the support. The support held, came back up, making the higher high right above the trend line, right above the entry that has no name. Is that an entry that someone could take? I mean, yes. It's not for me. I'm not looking for it. Gold has been a little bit spotty, right? It's been a lot sideways, and it's been a little bit choppy and difficult for a swing trader, right? But nevertheless, just pointing it out. If Biden wins and we have a blue sweep, there's no question that we're expecting. It doesn't mean our overlords will deliver massive stimulus. That could send gold bonkers. If we run into a contested election, that could also send gold bid as a safe haven. If we have Trump win with a Democratic Senate, that could also send gold bid, because that would also mean lots of a big stimulus package coming, a really big stimulus package coming. So there's a few scenarios. The one scenario that could probably put a lid on gold would be a Republican Senate winning. A Republican Senate winning, that would probably be the worst case for gold. So just trying to catch up here in a couple of comments over here. All right. So what about silver? Same business on silver, right? By the way, long term, because we're talking about long term, there's everything is supporting higher gold prices in the long term. Don't forget the Federal Reserve alone. The Federal Reserve alone is spending $1.4 trillion a year in supporting the markets. Also, not only that, if we do have a Republican Senate, the near-term reaction of the market might put a little pressure on gold. But if the government doesn't step in, the Federal Reserve will. Just understand that. So long term, though, we're precious metals bull market. Everything supports that over there. We'll get into Bitcoin in a second, but right now, let's look at silver. And silver, just you could see coming into the resistance so far being rejected. Clear sign signal on silver will now be a break of this trend line. No longer looking for 26 as the safe area above the resistance at 26. Just a break of this trend line will set off silver. Bitcoin mildly under pressure, by the way. There we go. That should fix that sound popping over there. Thanks for that. I shut off the system audio. We have Bitcoin over here, this under pressure today. It's hard for me to say, why do you see the equities bid? Why do you see risk on today? Why do you see precious metals bid? Because gold is bid, but also precious metals are. And why is Bitcoin off? I'm not reading anything into it whatsoever, right? Bitcoin had, depending on what data you look at, either the highest monthly close or the second highest monthly close in October, entirely bullish. Going back before October, in September, we're trading at 10,500. Y'all like, are you still keeping an 18,000 price target? Yeah. The average return historically in Bitcoin in the month of October was 30%. We had almost a 40% return in October. Bitcoin, after a 40% move in 30 days, coming off a little bit. It's just coming off into that little bit of support over here. That was resistance, right? Broke it, tested as support, held, came back into the resistance. By the way, you all heard me talk about it's not clearing that line over here, that resistance that we had to break above that trend line right there for the next leg up. You could see that held as resistance. Every single person over the weekend should have been aware of that, right? Now we're just coming back into an area of what support. All of you looking to get into Bitcoin. I mean, just two things. Right now, tomorrow, people will be looking like, look, I expect a massive risk event tomorrow, and I think the price of Bitcoin is going to go lower. You might get lucky. There's no question about it. That could very well happen. I'm not going to place odds on that, but I would say that there is a significant probability that happens. Some people might be looking back towards this support over here at 11,800 or up until 12,000, 12,100. You might get filled, right? To me, at this point in the cycle, the risk is that you do not get your position into Bitcoin and it keeps going higher, because that happened back over here. That also happened over here where people were waiting for lower Bitcoin. Bitcoin took a leg up. And again, people are now waiting for Bitcoin to backfill to get into Bitcoin. Look, you could keep doing that actually until you get your first 30% pullback. That's a safe entry into Bitcoin. There's nothing wrong with that. The only question you have to ask yourself, will that first 30% pullback on Bitcoin lead to a higher or lower price than 13,400? I don't know. I can't predict the future. I have zero idea. I don't know. Ethereum was last night trading above 400 and now is trading well off. All of crypto coming off today. Again, I don't know why. I don't really care in the fact that, look, Bitcoin's right on time, right according to schedule. I'm not going to read into anything today. I've said that from the beginning, so that includes crypto. I'm simply not reading into anything today. I am making sure, 20 years experience, I am making sure that I don't impose my will on the market. I'm not trying to figure out how the market should react if there's a contested election tomorrow. I'm not trying to figure out how. And by the way, 2016 election night, one of my best days ever in trading. Because when the market is on the wrong side, and then the market has to reprice itself, there's lots of opportunity. But if you're stuck in a trade and then the market starts repricing itself, that's not a power position. The power position is seeing what is happening, and then when something becomes clear, jumping in on it. So going into tomorrow with just a clear mind, not imposing I know that everyone's a hero and everyone knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. I have no idea, and I know that I'm coming from a position of strength if I don't try to even oppose any type of scenario on the market, and I could just trade it from clarity. Zen, Dragon, Master, Kung Fu Panda. All right, so XRP, no. I mean, listen, if you're still into XRP, it's 2020, All right, so what else do we wanted to check out, though? I don't know. Let me see what you guys wanted to check out. Good morning, Lawrence. Thank you, Mr. Babe. Thanks for the appreciate. Support and resistance levels are spot on. Ricardo, I add them myself, and guess what? The thing is, it's just an art. It's not a science. Meaning, sometimes the market's paying attention to a different area than I was. I got to adjust to that. Article on Cointelegraph. I'm just enjoying some of the comments. Bear with me over here. Part of the reason for dip is gap on CME Bitcoin futures. No, and why I say no, I don't mean to be just dismissive of that. But first of all, Cointelegraph, man. Look, I've said it the whole time. My base case was always that the CME gap at 9,600 won't close. Now, there's the possibility that it still closes. There's a gap over here. If you pull up the CME, I guess I'll do it. I don't want to do it because my machine's not running fast this morning. So I'm not even going to do it. There's a gap. Trust me, or pull it up yourself. There's a gap over here at 9,600 at CME. Now, the whole time I've said, of course, it's possible we could close it. Even right now, if you go back a 30% drawdown, that puts us close enough to close the gap that the momentum would take it. Always expect at least a 30% drawdown in Bitcoin in the bull market phase. We're in the bull market. Expect 30% drawdowns. But what happened is we broke out starting the bull market over here. Came in for a perfect retest. Right over there, I put a blue box around this. A blue box saying, I don't know which way we're going to break, up or down. If we break down, then yes, we will close the CME gap. However, that is not my base case, and I don't think the CME gap will ever get closed. I also put down into that trend line as a place to look to buy around 9,100. And I also said we could even go as low as 8,800. We not only broke to the upside, we retested it. And then once we took out this swing high, that was breakout, retest, resumption. The odds of us closing the CME gap now still exist. It's still possible. But listen, trading gaps is not a strategy. Go look at a chart of Amazon. Anyone that you would be wrecked if you try. The gaps don't close. They're called breakaway, runaway gaps, which happen in bull markets. And it leaves a lot of traders on the wrong side of the market. And those traders need to cover, which just propels price even further. So anyway, Cointelegraph. Yeah. All right. So Wreck City. Good luck, brother, getting wrecked. You know, go all in. XRP. Yeah, I'm gonna invest in a token where the company Ripple owns the majority of the float and just sells their tokens to me to fund their company. Because cross-border settlements, man. Cross-border, like it's not like the IMF and every single central bank across the world is initiating their own digital currencies for cross-border settlement, that we need XRP. I mean, yeah. Let's get it. So there are so many gaps that never closed. I know. I'm gonna get them right now. They're just I don't like to take time off the stream to ban people, but here we go. I just wish that people who put so much effort and energy into like spamming and scamming would just try to build something. You know, they could go so far. So much good energy over there. There was one more. It was there it is. Sorry, just trying to get this out. This is so annoying. But anyway, there we go. Got him. It's like whack-a-mole. When I say that Bitcoin closed for the day, what do you mean? Closed above resistance, or do you mean New York market close? So Bitcoin has a different closing time than currencies and FX. You know, I guess it's a difference of about 3 hours or so, but on the daily time frame. No, they're gone. I just had to ban them. Don't worry about it. It's just kind of fun. So listen, this is kind of different today, right? When I say this is kind of different, I'm going to explain that to you right here, and then I'm going to like actually go really bad. 1,400 people in there. Thanks for being here to spend the time. I feel like this is how I, Jordan, feel. Joshua, look, we just got to deal with what we got to deal with these next for this time I'm away from my office. You know what? So I appreciate that. Look, I believe that the edge, the analysis, the opportunity here is speaks for itself. Obviously, if you've been watching here for a while, it's just an edge in your trading, and you know, if you have to put up with a little bit things in the meantime, I definitely apologize for that. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that. Look, today I'm myself in a holding pattern. Am I doing this wrong? Maybe. It's the first time we've been streaming for over a year now. It's now over a year. It's November 2nd. And, each day, no matter what, I know what's going on. I know what foe to follow. I don't know what to do with the election tomorrow. I feel like I just want to be completely neutral. I cannot understand today. You got the dollar nicely bid, precious metals also bid, and equity markets bid. Crypto off. Crypto off means nothing to me, simply because that, it's been rising so well. Here is where we are right now. And I don't know how to take it further. What are y'all looking at? What do you want to look at? What do you want to talk about? I'm opening it up to you because I don't know what to do with it. And that, you know what? I am perfectly confident in my ability, in my skill set to be like, look, I just don't know, and that's it. I just don't know. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. What a phenomenal year it's been. A lot of amazing friendships. Kips, I was watching, in my Apple TV, your channels, videos were popping up. I was loving it. Thanks for that. I don't know. Look, Chris, too, Trump wins, risk on. Biden wins, risk off. I don't think so. I don't know. If Biden wins, we could go risk on because there's massive stimulus coming. I don't have any. My thoughts on Cardano is, why is it not? Is it lagging or leading? Where the alt season has not started, right? You have some leaders in the market. Monero's a leader, right? Chainlink, if you go back a year, yeah, it's sure the leader. Is Cardano. Look, there's a lot of people, including Brandon, who really support the project. He shared with me a video to watch on the plane. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I'm interested in that. Let's look at the Australian dollar, US dollar, by the way. Sean, the Japanese yen weakness is confusing to me. Australian dollar strength is confusing to me coming into a risk event. Maybe what the market is trying to say that it's not going to be a risk event. We'll see tomorrow what is happening. Jesse, man, you're the gift. Thanks, brother. For real. And I loved your comment this morning. Brought a smile to my face. That's what it's all about, All right, what's going on here with the Australian dollar, Japanese yen? Is this providing opportunity? So a couple of things that you could have in your mind, right? Like, how are you going to play tomorrow? Are you going to take an active trade tomorrow? Well, I'll definitely be looking for it, right? That's when there's huge opportunity in the market. You just have to be ready for wild swings. It's not like, I think it was, I forgot what time zone. I was in Houston, 2016 election, and it was around 7 o'clock at night that the turn happened. So I guess that's around 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. That's when it was clear of the opportunity in the market. Maybe it was 6:30, between 6:30 and 7 p.m. Is history going to repeat itself? Maybe. All I could go off of past experience. So by the way, I put out what I feel was a fantastic video on Saturday on Bitcoin. It was a very important video for me. The comments were really genuine and extraordinarily well received. So I'm going to say that everyone thought it was also a really good video. And in the beginning of that video, I talk about where I believe is a good time to buy Bitcoin. Do watch that. The video is completely worth it. So Australian dollar, Japanese yen could be a good player to play tomorrow. If we go risk off, there's no question that I want to position myself into the Japanese yen over the US dollar. Japanese yen will be my go-to. Now, is it the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen? I'm not really sure. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate that. Thank you, Brent. I really enjoyed it. You all know I was putting it together for quite a while. It was very important to me. I said the whole time until we got to 14,000, there was a reason for that I didn't need to get the video out. I loved how it all, Chris, thanks, wound up on time. Brandon, relax on ADA for now. Let the charts dictate what to do. If ETH 2.0 phase goes well, right? And then is going to do anything, probably crash. Got it. Brandon, thanks for all of your input into there. Long joy euro through election. Interesting. So let's pull up the Euro US dollar. So I think the vibe that Kips is going off of here is that if there's problems in the US, when I say problems in the US, but I don't want to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. But if there's problems in the US as far as there's not a smooth transition of power, that's an enormous problem for the US. And is it possible you see some type of, look at this. This is a big deal as we come in and test this important blue line over here. By the way, I'm just looking for I love looking at charts, but what I'm looking at is that little channel we were following, the break into the support, and then what? That was support, that channel support was then held as resistance. Now we're into the big one. This one goes back 12 years, this blue line over here. This is a line in the sand both ways. This opens up the upside and or downside. Pay attention over here. That goes back 12 years, this trend line over here. If we lose this trend line, right? If we trade above the low in September, we could see a massive move against the euro, though. Also, we could be coming in towards $1.12. That's a massive move. That's about a 400 pip move, 390 pip move in play over there. Now, it is also possible over here as we come into this area, which is support right now, that it does wind up holding. Euro is definitely in play. Thank you. Very important for me. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Let's check it out. Is this a buying opportunity, Shane? Right here today? Yes, that I saw that over the on the opening yesterday. Oil was breaking down. Nice trade, Kips. Is that a buying opportunity? I can't, Shane. The possibility in my mind that the dollar could go bid tomorrow remains. On a risk event, the dollar, after all, the dollar is still king dollar. It is the reserve currency of the world. The system is dollar-based. If people need dollars, there's no question. And by the way, the lower the price of oil goes, the more people need dollars because they're not gaining dollars when they're selling oil. They're selling less oil in the slowdown, and then they're also receiving less dollars for them, which creates a demand for dollars. So it's not clear to me. Now, if we get some type of event where we're going to see big stimulus in the market, that's going to weigh on the dollar for sure. Is this the position right over here? Is this just to watch? Let's see what happens. If this holds, this is resistance over here now, right? That's resistance. Getting above that, this is just the first move into it. I don't see it yet. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Let's take a look. Yeah, if gold, and it's not a given when that's going to happen, right? Right, long term, I'm bullish on gold, bullish on silver. In the near term, that's a different thing. Rob, this is the place to do it, unquestionably. Glad you're here with us. This is Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. You could see that support is holding, right? I can't make any other observation right now. This is sideways. The support's holding over here, but we are really in a zone over here. I don't see any edge. If we break down over here, that would provide a nice opportunity. It's so weird, right? Seeing oil under pressure into a risk event, Japanese yen selling off. But this is also over here. I see a very clear bear flag developing. You're at the top of it right now over here, right? And a breakdown, and below that support over there, I could see a further and big leg down on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Eric, it gave a very clear, I've been giving a very clear analysis all along, but as you're coming into the event tomorrow, I think that the best thing that I know I could do, right, and is not have any type of, I'm not imposing any type of thoughts on the market. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm going in here with a clear mind. I have no idea what's going to happen. I know it's going to be a big event one way or the other, right? the market is prepared for that a contested election. So therefore, in my mind, the biggest risk would be that it's not a contested election. That would be very bullish, right? Are the equity markets today trading up on the fact that now they're thinking that it's not going to be a contested election? Maybe. I have no idea. Are gold and silver a little bit bid today? Because don't forget, it's not just gold build. Silver is also bid today because they feel like we're going to have some type of resolution, and then we could start talking about stimulus. I have no idea. Maybe. Why is the dollar bid? You know, I have no idea. So and that's I don't know if where you're talking about precious metals or the equity markets. Once the dust settles, if we go into if it becomes a nightmare scenario, it was game played right out. Podesta played the lead, and he called it the 79 days of hell, where Trump wins election night. Biden doesn't concede the election. Then you have all these lawyers in all these swing states. Do you remember how long when the contested election in Florida was? How long it took to count those hanging chads? Can you imagine that happened in multiple counties across the U.S.? And then the UN is called in to bring order to the United States of America. I mean, this could be a disaster. So instead of trying to I have no idea what's going to happen. Tomorrow, we're going to see what's happened. The market's going to decide what it's going to do. And then we're going to have plenty of time to position ourselves from some nice moves. Going into it before we see what happens, or more importantly, how the market reacts, is just really a gamble. And that's not how you make money in the markets. So Ron, it's not just the euro US dollar. There are times, but Ron, it's very seldom. There are times when you get a breakout or a breakdown and price does not come back and retest. I would say it's about 5% of the time. That's a very small percentage. Now, if I were to put a percentage on how often breakdowns fail, I don't know what it is, but it's very high, right? This is why you do breakdown, retest, resumption, because when you get the resumption, that is a high probability trade. Now, it's not always going to work out, but out of everything, it's the highest probability. So if you have in your mind, there's the possibility the trade could get away from me, understand that it's a very low percentage of the time that happens and be comfortable with it. Just be like, that one got away. Yeah, I didn't get it. And and the reason why you should be so comfortable with it, because you should know that if you play the breakout, it's such a low probability trade. You can't do it that way. So just be comfortable if a trade get away, knowing, well, that one got away, but guess what? The market's always going to be there and there's plenty of opportunity. Oh, I mean, I strongly disagree, Chris. The markets really care about who wins because we don't. And again, I don't want to get political, but there's on either side, there's different variables that play out. So yeah, the market definitely cares. Could the pandemic in Europe be playing into the dollar rise? So many risky stuff will be a good opportunity on the rise. And maybe, Jason, maybe the pandemic in Europe, the lockdowns in Europe are causing the lessened demand of oil. We're seeing the pressure on oil that could be putting actually a bid into dollar over here. I bring up oil only because, again, I'm not looking at that area over here. I'll clean it up later. I'm looking at moving to 31, 32, and or the support of 28, 29 as a place to maybe look to lean into buy oil for the long term. It'll be tomorrow night. It'll be tomorrow night that we should have some clear indications of what's going on. It's quite possible if for example, Biden takes Florida tomorrow, that would be a clear sign that we probably will have a winner, right? So we'll see. Well, I mean, so anyway, it's not odd because they have there are plans in place to just there are organized plans in place to cause disturbance and riots across the country, especially in Washington D.C. Washington D.C. is all boarded up. There are organized plans, right? Team Soros, yay, Team Soros. There are organized plans to disrupt, if they don't like the results of the election. So, yeah, Chris, I get that you don't get that, but I don't understand why you don't get that. So there's not much I could say. And Chris, I think what the one easy piece that you're missing is that if there's a contested election that drags out for weeks and or longer, the market is going to hate that. I think that's the clearest part that you're missing, right? And also it also matters not only who wins the presidency, it matters more who wins the Senate, because whoever wins the Senate also will determine the degree of the amount of stimulus that comes, which the market is keying off of. I mean, I look, Chris, it's a huge deal. It's not even a little deal. The market, it's all the market even cares about, right? So if you're missing that, just observe this election and watch what happens, and use it as an enormous learning experience. Listen, the markets don't like uncertainty, and we could have enormous uncertainty tomorrow. Look at this though. Gold, DXY continuing to resume out over there. That's right, Gene. Good recap over there. Thank you for that, Gene. That's right. We're gonna make this a place. By the way, anyone listening now who wants to be here with us, who believes that this offers an edge for their own trading, and again, over a year now, the amount of people who have shared the difference in their life that this has made, is enormous. I know what it is. But if you believe this could help, let's all work together, Gene. Thanks for that reminder, and continue to make this an environment where, as the world is going crazy around us, we could be in this bubble of just looking to support each other, right? What pairs am I most excited about, Ron, over the next few days? If we go into risk off, if we go into risk off, like if we have a contested election and we start seeing riots across America, right? Forget like taking it to the worst level of the UN troops coming into the United States of America. If we start seeing risk off in the markets, that's like an easy trade. It's a very easy trade. Japanese yen, Swiss franc against New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar. It was one of my best trades all year, going back into late February into March, and I know Jesse was a part of them as well. And as we were in them, I was like, no, this is no longer swing trading. Position trades, hold your trades, hold your trades. They're moving multiple levels for a reason, and they're going to keep going. Thanks, John. Right? So that's one thing to look out for. I think that if we have a clear winner and also a blue Senate, that's going to be very clear in my mind, precious metals and equity markets. Very, very clear. Everyone's already positioned into Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is its own thing. You all believe me now, as you've been seeing these past, since September, equity markets off 10%, Bitcoin's up 40%, right? Bitcoin's doing its own thing because of the cycle. So I'm not worried about any effect on Bitcoin will be near term, in my opinion. Okay. So I'm not worried about Bitcoin. I'm worried about the equity markets. I'm worried about precious metals. I'm worried about the dollar. I'm worried about risk off currencies in FX. I mean, So I mean, the very fact that one political party has war gamed this scenario, not one party, the head of the party has war gamed this scenario in itself is, you know, I mean, so is locking down the whole world nonsense, right? So not, I mean, nonsense is what they do. Why not wait? That's a great question though, Cameron. That's easy to turn up. And so Cameron, look, the 30% in the first 30% drop into entering the Bitcoin is a good entry. Your risk is limited. Could we trade down 40%? Yeah. 10% to the downside on Bitcoin. Well, I like that. I like that risk. So, but the thing is that first pullback in Bitcoin, that might not happen until Bitcoin hits 23,000. That might not happen until Bitcoin hits above 30,000. I don't know when it's going to happen. I mean, yes, it could also happen at 20,000. And if it happens at 20,000, where does that put you? Well, that puts you back at 14,000. All right. You know, could it happen at 16,000? Yeah. The whole reason I was waiting for 14,000 to do that video is I believe any point now from 16,000 and above, we could get that 30% pullback. It could happen today. But you have to ask yourself, will the price be higher or lower when it gets that first 13%? I don't have the answer to that. Well, that's not politics, right? So if I talk about what George Soros is planning, right? Why DC is boarded up, that's not talking politics. That's talking what is. And if I talk about, you know, the war game that Posada played, right? With that's not politics. That happened. That's reality. So you have to be able to disconnect your own politics between reality. All right? If you can't do that, then whatever. but Max, in all honesty, being like liberals will welcome you on trips into their homes, that's not nice. All right? So let's work on it. Let's work on getting this you know, it's a fine balance. Everyone's tensions are up, no question about that. All right, everyone. Like, let's go back to what Gene said. Let's all support each other. But sincerely and seriously, all support each other, guys. If I need to say something, like it's not necessarily, it's not political. I'm not right. So there it is. All right. Andre, look, brother, if you like, you need to do your own research then. If you think Soros is a conspiracy theory, then I don't know. I'm sorry. All right. Matto, go watch the video we did on Saturday, uploaded to the channel on Bitcoin. I gave in the beginning of the video what I believe to be all of the possible scenarios for Bitcoin and when is the best scenario. Okay. Now we did have, yeah, guys, let's just cool it off over there. We did have on Bitcoin this morning. I forgot who it was because I just woke up. Yeah, it was about 5:30 in the morning. Someone was saying that they went ahead and they used that pullback into 13,100 in that area to go ahead and take their buy into Bitcoin. I mean, is that smart? In my opinion, it's smart, right? Because that's the pullback into support. I am in the camp. I don't know that I'm right, that there's more of a risk in not getting into Bitcoin here, right? Than the odds that you're going to get it lower. Thanks, Zen. I'm trying my hardest. It's not easy. And especially because, like, if people make comments, they're important to me, right? And, you know, I want to be able to have a conversation, but then, anyway, look, at the end of the day, here, everyone knows me. First of all, I got thick skin. I'm a New Yorker. What's up? Second of all, right? Shout out to the Bronx. Second of all, I'm going to do whatever needs to be said in order to keep ourselves on the right side of the market. And at the end of the day, I don't care if there's 30, 50, or 2,000 people in here. Everyone knows for months and months I was here with the same 30 people. So I don't care. Brooklyn. Yeah, let's check out the euro, Swiss franc for sure. I think tomorrow I might Zoom. I might stream with Zoom just while I'm over here. All right, Alan, I'm gonna go back to that in a second. I saw your comment. I saw your tweet. I didn't have a chance to read your tweet about altcoins, but I saw your tweet on altcoins. So anyway, I'll go back to that 1 second. Euro Swiss franc. Everyone could see though that we've come back into that trend line, right? This was resistance. Now it's holding as support. Also, there's horizontal support right down over there, right over there, that green line. You could see it over there. Now, I think that this could be offering a possible opportunity to short. We are in a near, ever since breaking down out of this channel, right? We put in the bear flag, leg down. So looking for further leg downs up until we get back above right over here. You know, let me push this up a little bit. But nevertheless, with all that nonsense, I don't think this is a good pair to trade. I don't think this is a good pair to be focused on and or trade. First of all, even after breaking out of the range, it remains sideways. I think right now the opportunity is highly on Japanese yen pairs. Japanese yen pairs are in play in a big way. That's where I'm focused. And you know, you could take also, you know, right now you're seeing, for example, on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, we know that we've been looking at, and since September, KIPS has been kind of swaying all of us, bringing our attention over there, right? I didn't get into there until October when we had that breakdown of that ascending triangle. But we're looking at a weak pair that today is coming back up, right? Sell resistance. Where's the resistance? Well, the resistance is right over here, right at 74.24. We're towards the top of the consolidation right now, right? So we should clean this up a little bit. By the way, did you see what I just did? I moved up my support a little because I looked over here. I saw where the bodies were, and then I saw the market was paying attention right over there. So do I have to move that up 10, 15 pips or whatever it is? Of course I do. Alan, Bitcoin video. Look, so this is so simple. Like for real. So two things. I'm not going to do a video on the altcoins. And it's simply because, all right. So I genuinely am a crypto fan and root and believe that many projects will be highly successful. Ethereum itself has the potential to become a multi-trillion-dollar project. That's not even successful. That's like uber successful. I definitely, Monero, great use case. Now there are things like XRP that I have to, if it's a scam, it's a scam. I have to sound the alarm, right? I don't want my friends and family getting caught up over there. Now, but altcoins themselves, I believe the play is Bitcoin. Now, in the last bull market, there's no question altcoins outperformed by like a factor of 4. You know, Bitcoin. I believe that happens again. I believe a smally leveraged Bitcoin position is smarter, better. However, in the last bull market, altcoins bull market peaked out about 10 days after Bitcoin. Using the exit signal on Bitcoin that I'm going to give should be at the same time. You're not trying to pick the top. You're trying to get out as best as possible. If I could get out of Bitcoin anywhere from 25% around the top, I freaking nailed it, right? And the same thing with altcoins. As we're exiting Bitcoin, that should be the signal to get out of altcoins as well. Alan. Yeah. So, by the way, when you're talking about the last dip on Bitcoin being 63%, that is why I don't think we're going to see that 30% drawdown yet. We saw right after going on Bitcoin going to be 20% in this bull market. I don't think so at all. I don't think so. The volatility is going to be enormous to the upside, which also is going to cause those large swings to the downside as well, in my opinion. Now, we had the 63% drawdown in Bitcoin only because of the liquidity crisis. We had a crisis where the Fed had to expand their balance sheet by $4.1 trillion. It was a crisis. Bitcoin obviously got demolished. Now, there's little idiosyncrasies about it. Like, for example, the automatic the BitMEX loop caused that price to continue sliding down. It was the low was as BitMEX came offline, right? I don't think that would have happened if it weren't for the liquidity crisis. And you could see that Bitcoin obviously since then has responded. Is Bitcoin the best performing asset since the liquidity crisis? I think so. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Timothy. Yeah, I agree. Bitcoin could be at 30, 40,000. I don't know. I think the low of the next bear market will be around 30 to $40,000. Nope. Glenn, I've never traded an option in my life. I've never, 20 years trading full time, never traded an option in my life. So I'm not the person to give you any type of insight into that at all. On a potential decoupling of metals and stock equities, I mean, except for today, they're pretty much, you know, look, when you talk about correlations across all asset classes, at certain times they're very strong, or even in the March crisis, everything was almost correlated down to one. Now, there are times when correlations are strong and others when they are not. You could look at the dollar correlation with gold, for example. Most of the time they're inversely correlated, but not always. There are periods where they both move up together. So, correlations exist until they don't. I don't trade off of correlations. I trade off of price alone, what price is doing, but I do look at correlations just to get that rhythm of the market. Yeah, let's look at the euro, Australian dollar. By the way, just let me get a quick update in my mind of what's going on. I see the S&P trading at session highs as with the rest of the markets over here. I also see the dollar still trading ever since New York came to work at its high. Gold and silver still bid. Bitcoin coming off its lows. All right. Euro, Australian dollar. Let's take a look. Zen, it's the same in all markets. When you have, I mean, every single market's the same, even if it's baseball cards, right? Price rises when more buyers are willing to pay a higher price than sellers are willing, to sell it for. That's what causes price to rise. Oh, this is actually interesting here. This is the euro Australian dollar. I'm going to get into it in a second. Yeah, Rob, it might help your own analysis though. So I'm going to remove this over here. By the way, this is a big deal. That line over here, that resistance over here, right? Back into the channel, right? Are you looking now for a possible... So weird. I'm so sorry. So weird to me. Australian dollar under pressure outperforming the euro. Actually, I take it back. I have no idea what's going on over here. I bring it back to my original thesis. I'm completely on the sidelines. I'm neutral. I'm not trying to force anything. Yeah, I don't know. That's but I could say this. I don't play week versus week. Now I do believe in my opinion that the euro is moderately stronger than the Australian dollar, but right now it's not. I would just completely stay away. Stay away completely. If I don't know what's going on, I am away, and I don't know what's going on over here. If we get back above that area of support over here, that channel going back months, then I would be more apt to taking it on the long side. Right now, I would just completely stay away. Yeah, the audio's choppy. Apologies for that. I'm going to use Zoom tomorrow. I'm going to use Zoom for streaming tomorrow. Yeah, Nate, I'm on the other side of that. I think that we're going to peak somewhere in September. And we're actually in a shorter cycle, in my opinion. We'll see. That's awesome, Rob. But we will see, Nate. But I'm very strongly against the lengthening cycle theory. I actually think that we have a shorter cycle over here. By the way, something made my mind blow on the plane yesterday, and it was because you all know that the reason I said, okay, it looks like we're gonna peak in September is because if you take the low point of this bear market cycle up into the halving, it's X amount of days. Minus 2% gives us September 21st, right? So if you go back to the past cycles, that's exactly how it played out. The low of the bear market to the halving, less 2%, was the exact amount of days it took to the cycle peak. So that would lead to a shortening cycle. But then I also looked at, Plan B's stock to flow, the color coded how many more months to the next halving cycle. And then I was able to find, what the peaks are, how many months away. I don't have it off the top of my head. And then I went from the next halving back, and it was to September. So I have two confirming indicators giving me September of 2021. I believe we're in a shortening cycle. Yeah. Ethereum this year in 2020 has well outperformed Bitcoin. And I'm still in the camp that all altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin in this bull market phase. Nothing's changed over there. But I'd rather hold Bitcoin than Ethereum. And Ethereum is highly speculative. The whole reason it's outperforming right now, I mean, you could say, well, in the bull market, Ethereum was down 95%, while Bitcoin was down 85%. Well, that's also true. But in the bull market, I expect right now, at least the first 6 months, Ethereum to outperform, right? Because it's highly speculative. It's completely unproven. They don't know if they're going to ever be able to upgrade it. Just listen to the founders. They're like, look, when we released it, we never knew if it could scale, and we still don't. Talking about Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, you know someone who knows more about, yeah? Okay, go for it. Look at this. This is the comment of the day over here. So, I mean, listen, if you could follow the flow, you could follow the flow. And if you can't, see ya. So a lot of people, it's not our fault. The school system's actually designed so that we are unable to process information unless it's laid out in such a structured way. We've lost the ability to think for ourselves. You really have to unschool yourself if you want to be successful. It's the way it is. Is there a trend line worth looking at in the Euro Australian dollar? I think I'm going to go get, I don't like working off this. I'm going to go get a Mac Mini and see if that works better. Nice. I wish I could homeschool my kids. I don't know. There's no way I would draw a trend line. Although I'm trying to find it out, but there's no way that I would be drawing one. No. BlockFi is not for trading Bitcoin. BlockFi is for holding Bitcoin and receiving interest on your assets. I mean, the markets look like to you guys they're going to sell off as they're trading at its highs. I don't know. Again, just to clarify a couple of things. Um, I have no idea what's going to happen going into the election, and I have no idea what's going to happen election night. Another thing is the biggest risk to the market is that it's a non-event. And when I say risk, that would be positive for the market. The market would then, be rallying. But it's a risk as far as everyone right now is positioned that it's going to be a huge risk event. So the biggest risk is that it's a non-event. I have no idea what's going to happen. And it's like being a ninja. You're prepared for everything. If you think you know what's going to happen, first of all, you're wrong. But if you really have the mindset, you have no idea what's going to happen, and tomorrow night you watch, and then as the market makes its move, then we could be there to get involved. So James, you think that the first of all, I mean, if you're not responsible enough to handle your own security, then you're not Bitcoin's not for you, right? And you could have fun holding on to fiat or anything else you would like. That's all good. But there are many different ways to manage Bitcoin, where even multi-sig, where if you lose your password, you don't lose your Bitcoin, right? Or you could use a centralized, exchange like BlockFi, a custodial that if you lose your password, they're able to give it to you. So like mom could use Bitcoin, but if you're talking about all the lost Bitcoin being a negative for Bitcoin, well, I look at that as a positive. If there's 1 million Bitcoin locked up by Satoshi that are never going to be used, and then you have another, 1 or 2 million Bitcoin that have been lost forever, well, that lessens the overall supply. That I like them odds. AJ, I'm fully positioned into Bitcoin, and I've been for a while now. So I'm fully positioned into Bitcoin. Now, will I be? I explained in the video of how I will be managing it in the bull market phase. So on 30% pullbacks, will I be adding to Bitcoin? Yes. Nice. So, by the way, for Love Club, there's no question about it. Ripple right now is under pressure. Don't think that it's gonna rip to the upside. By the way, right? Um, and it has a history of doing that. It's just that Ripple, the company, every time it rips up, they sell theirs to the people. So, are we gonna break 30 cents here on Ripple? I mean, that's almost a given. We're going to break above 30% or go higher. So, so cold storage is different than hardware offline, right? I think Link you could probably store in a Ledger wallet offline, right? I don't know if Treasure supports Link or not. So there's a difference between storing something in a hardware wallet offline and cold storage like Winklevoss, where writing down these numbers on a piece of paper, splitting that up and storing that in such a way across different locations. Cold storage and hardware storage are different. Probably for most people, the most secure. There you go. Yeah, is hardware offline. You have Cold Card, Treasure, or Ledger as options, and then you have multi-sig. You could look into Casa. Casa multi-sig storage is easy for everybody. Ledger stores Link, awesome. Monero got hit hard, but it's been leaning on the upside. So by the way, when you're in a lot of people, a lot of traders, they're like, as things are rising, they're like, oh, I want to buy. And as things are falling, they're like, oh, in a bear market here, and Link is leading the way up on the bull market here. I'm sorry, in a bull market, you want to be like big red days or opportunity, right? Because a lot of people, as you're climbing up, they're like, that's when they want to buy. You got to flip the script. But right now, look at that. If you extend that flag over here, that bull flag, extend that area over here, that what was resistance, that's still holding us support right now. Right now, you want to wait for the resumption off there. By the way, Brandon was talking about it on Saturday with myself, and I believe 12-hour is the best time to be trading crypto like this over here. But over here, you could see if I extend that line over there, that's holding us support, right? So a resumption off there, Monero being down 5% today, 6 or 7% earlier, that's offering an opportunity to buy, in my opinion. Yeah, I my thoughts on the SPX again. If Danielle, you could always go to the beginning of the live stream if you want to see what's going on with the equity markets. My thoughts is that I'm completely neutral going into tomorrow's risk event, and I have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm going to wait until I know what is happening, and then look to position myself into a nice trade that I believe is going to have the potential to really roam. Yep. Peter, I'm going to echo your comment over here, right? Because I can't wait for this election to be over with. And it's not just me and you. I believe it's everyone. I believe it's everyone. And I really look forward. I hope that I don't care who wins tomorrow. I hope that we have a winner. How about that? I hope we are able to continue to move on as a country. And that's it. Nice, Nate. I agree. If you're using Treasure, you should use a passcode with it, though. PS. Oh wow, BlockFi added this is great for in my opinion, BlockFi is a venture capital play, right? Anthony Papalano just did the third round. He's an original investor as well as the Winklevoss brothers. Led a $50 million round and being added as a liquidity provider for CME. That's awesome. That's good news. Yeah, Alan, it's the best. It's the smartest position, and a lot of people that don't like to understand that, but it's it's a power position, especially going into tomorrow. Yeah, this is the worst thing that could happen for all of us if we go into any type of situation tomorrow where we just get into the market will sell off. So the market has the potential over here. I don't care what you look at. We'll look at the S&P 500. I don't know which would be leading to the downside. Equities could get demolished here and trade off another 10% if we get uh if we get a hugely contested election. If we get division, if people are talking about civil war, if you would have told me 4 years ago there'll be civil war in the US, I thought you'd be crazy. I remember in grade school the teacher telling teachers thing about the Civil War and being like families were divided, brother against brother, and I was like, how could that ever happen? I mean, now I see it. Now I get it. Now I understand it. By the way, are we coming back to test this area? Which this is the reverse of Monero, right? Are we coming in right now to test two lines over here? Sorry, this is not the clearest. Are we coming in to test two lines, two areas of interest over there? That should be not only resistance, but you got this horizontal area right over there. A rejection over here, right? I mean, it's too soon. You could just still watch what happens, though. We could still watch what happens with price. Oh, I don't think people are smart at all. I think people are completely programmed. I think most people are completely programmed. I mean, speaking of being programmed, listen, I remember, everyone following the channel, right? Late January, we were looking at what's happening in COVID. We were looking at how that's going to affect the markets. Not only that, we were stocking up in early February on supplies. Why did I go out and buy a bunch of toilet paper? Was I programmed? I have no idea. If you think you're above being programmed, then you're probably being programmed. They got some of the smartest people in the world doing all types of crazy psychological experiments on us. So not only do I believe in program, I believe I am susceptible to it. Of course I am. And if you think you're not, there's a good chance that well, then you're probably very programmed. So I just enjoy spending time with you. I don't even want to get off, even though I think I'm gonna look at getting over here as I'm away for a couple of weeks a Mac Mini and see if that will enhance our experience. Nice, Rob. I deleted my Facebook after watching the Snowden video. Yeah, or from time to time you'll see me use the true trend. If you go, it's on my chart right now. It's always on my chart, and sometimes it is better than I originally used the MACD in my trading. I guess up until like 2004, and then I was a CCI trader for a while, and since 2007 I've used the true trend. But I've used the true trend so much that I have completely ingrained it into my mind. I don't need to have it on the chart to know what's happening, right? So at the end of the day, like, an indicator is to help you trade price. At the end of the day, all you need to be trading is price. The best way to trade the market is off of the market structure of price alone around support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns. So I do use the true trend. Even when I'm not using it, I'm still using it. Ken, I just uploaded a video on Saturday. If you haven't seen it yet, stop whatever you're doing and go watch the video on Bitcoin. It's a good video. Ken, could I talk about taking big losses and turning around follow view? I mean, the single most important piece of trading is money management and risk management. The single. There's no way that anyone could lose a lot of money if you're trading correctly, right? It's people who don't know how to position themselves. People have no sense of risk management. People who are using obviously oversized positions, you're going to lose a lot of money. But there are plenty of people who watch the YouTube channel who never took my course and have completely turned around their trading only because they're able to analyze the markets themselves. We analyze the markets, they see what we're doing, and you're able to go ahead and just have a little bit of better perspective and insight. It's a huge edge, right? And also, I could be looking here at the S&P 500 and I'm like, okay, it's too big of a risk event, it's neutral, and you could be like, whatever, I'm buying off of this support over here, right? My analysis could affirm your own. That's also a win if that's what happens. But, Ken, if you're having a problem losing money, you need to turn around. Like, the course is absolutely exceptional. There was a comment that I took a screenshot of. I saw it on the plane. Someone spent 15,000 Australian dollars on a course, and they're not even finishing it. They've just from the material that we do here free together every day is way better. I mean, that speaks for itself, right? The course itself, it costs next to nothing. The price is invaluable. Well, Max, that's true too. And again, when you're in the course, we have all our live training sessions, right? All our past weekly live training sessions. In the first 5, we've spent a lot of time on managing a trade. It's the most important part. is managing a trade, right? Well, I shouldn't say it's the most important part. The most important part is how often you trade, what time frame you trade, what market you trade, right? How you enter your trade, what your position size is, what your risk is, and then after all of that, which is like 101, the important part for really, for really separating the men from the boys here, the girls from the ladies, is managing a trade. And you have to be in that mindset of pushing trades. You have to hold on to your winners. Cutting your winners short will never lead to success. That's right there, Miguel. Right? Thank you for that. I'm glad to hear about that. I'm grateful too. Thank you, brother, for being here. Stefan, there's a link in the description below, right? If you just go click on the description of this video, there's a link over there on the live streams. By the way, speaking of which, I'm not sending that email today for this week's training session. I haven't decided what day it'll be. It'll either be, well, I'll figure it out what it is and send that out to everybody. But we will obviously be doing our live stream. So Ken, you got to make that decision then to be committed. And I'm with you, brother. You spent a lot of time doing your research. Not only that, then getting affirmation for others. If you want to better yourself, and that if you're here right now, you obviously are either, have melded into the groove of this, and you enjoy spending the time, you enjoy learning with us, and I'm learning every day myself, right? And if you actually join the course, then you're sincerely, seriously about bettering yourself. You got to commit to it then. That means you got to stop trading on your own, and you got to follow the program. Go, Chris. That's awesome. Gold is bid today as the dollar's bid. What to make of that? I'm not trying to make of anything until tomorrow. By the way, what are your thoughts, everybody? Why are equity markets bid today in relation to the election tomorrow? Are the markets foreseeing that it's not going to be a risk-off event, that we're going to have a winner? Ellie, I looked at the Euro Australian dollar, and I just don't see an edge on there myself right now. Dead cat. That could be a dead cat. Short covering. But I mean, So if I was short the market, I covered on Friday, actually. I said I wouldn't go in Friday, short the market. Are people squaring up positions that were short riding this down for the last couple of weeks into tomorrow? Maybe. But why wouldn't they do that until the results came in? Bull trap. No, I don't pay attention to the TD sequential. If you're paying attention to the TD sequential, right? The only person that I've known that gives that teaches that is what's this guy's name? I think it starts with a T. I don't know. But that was the guy calling for that hyperwave BS, that Bitcoin was going down to 1,000. So if you're following anyway, R. Jackson, I can sincerely say that so far, including calling the 2018 December bottom, my analysis is on point. I don't pay attention to what other people are saying in that aspect. Corrective pattern, going trade sideways before. So a lot of us, not that myself is not included, a lot of us see the markets trading off. And that will happen if we have a contested election. So just remember, all of us right now who are looking for the market to go down, that if we have a clear winner, good chance the markets rally from here. Yes, there is No, there's not an MQ4 file. There's only a .exe file. I don't think Brandon, I mean, I don't think the big players know more than we do, right? Rewind, sincerely, Brandon, go back to the crisis, right? First of all, we saw it happening and unfolding before the majority of big players. There were other people who also did. If you listen to Macro Voices, whoever the host is of Macro Voices, they also at the same time saw this happening. No question about it. Um, but most people not only did not see the crisis unfolding and positioned for it, they also didn't see the bottom. Now, outside of that period, mid-April into May, where at that point we could have gone either way. I mean, the bottom we saw, and then the whole way up, we were like, okay, you just can't even sell. And most traditional finance, big market players thought we were going back to test the lows and missed out on a lot of that. So I don't agree with that. I think a lot of the big players lose a lot of big money. My thoughts on electric overtaking gas. Let's see who wins the election. Some people are saying that it doesn't matter who wins the election for the markets. Well, I think it does. If we have a blue wave here and Biden wins, then we're going to see an enormous clean, quote unquote, clean energy initiative. Is electric vehicles cleaner than gas? You know, what's the carbon footprint on each? So I don't know, but that's irrelevant. What is relevant is that if we see Biden win with the blue wave, we're going to see an enormous EV push. Kips's nickel is going to explode to the upside, right? Kip's nickel is going to explode to the upside. Now, if that doesn't happen and Trump wins and the Republicans hold the Senate, then not that we're not making the California has already made some type of, I forgot what year they gave, but we're already seeing that move to electric vehicles. It's a long-term play, no question about it, and a good one. It'll be accelerated quickly if we get a blue wave. Thank you, Lawrence. Tony Vase. Tone Vase does the sequential, right? But so anyway, right? Look, Bitcoin's not trading at 1,000. Yeah. That I was calling it at the time to myself the instead of hyperwave, the hyper BS. Is the market pricing in a Trump win? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I think today the market might be pricing in, or I think you guys are right. We're seeing a lot of short covering, getting ready. I don't know what the market's pricing in right now. The only way I can know what the market's pricing in the same way all of you can know what the market's pricing in tomorrow, as we begin to see different results coming in from counties and states, and to see who's winning, whether it's A or B, and see how the market's trading. That's how we know what the market's pricing in. And then if we get new, let's say all of a sudden Florida flips, and then we see now instead of A winning, B's winning, and the market reacts differently. That's how the market is what the market is pricing in and why. That's the only edge there is. If you're doing it any other way, you're doing it wrong. This is how you do it. You have to watch as the results come in, who's winning, A or B, how the market's reacting. That's what the market's pricing in. If an important place is flipped and the market reacts differently, that's how the market's reacting. That was the best thing said. Yeah, and by the way, rest in peace to Tyler. Seemed like a really good guy, and that was sad to see anyone pass away like that. That was probably the most important thing said this whole session. And for me, was it worth waiting an hour and 30 minutes to get to that? For me, it was. super, super, super important, Cameron. Focusing on support and resistance during the volatility. Absolutely. That's right, Shane. Rest in peace, for sure. All right, everyone. I think we're going to call it a session. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Tomorrow we're going to obviously play it by ear. I look forward to seeing you all in the morning. And we'll go ahead and do it again and prepare ourselves for election night. And then we'll figure out what our plan is together for election night. But we'll wait till tomorrow. So thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful day. See you tomorrow.